Out.
All right.
So, hello, I'm Lynn Samita, and I'm chair of the William Glasser International Board. And I am so pleased today to be introducing you to one of our keynote speakers at our upcoming conference. We hold an international conference every 2 years, and this year it's going to be in Chicago at the wonderful Palmer House Hotel. This is a historic hotel, and we're so excited to be right in the heart of Chicago. The conference will be July 3rd to the 6th, so it's not that far away, and we're really looking forward to having as many people as possible join us. Today, I have the great pleasure of talking with Dr. Don Parker. Yes, and
Good
Don's going to
morning.
be,
Good morning, Lynn. So excited to be online with you this morning.
oh, thank you. Well, I was so delighted you were chosen to be one of our keynote speakers, and you're going to be speaking on Saturday, the third day of our conference, which is got a real theme of education. We're
Mhm.
hoping that teachers, administrators, even university students will come out and hear what you have to say, because I know education is a passion for you. I mean, you've
Yes.
spent your professional career in it, but it's not just a job. So welcome and thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm looking so forward to speaking at the conference just to share my passion about education. And the reason I'm so passionate about education is because I love learning. And another thing about education is that it can absolutely level the playing field when people just want to be successful in life and they want to just walk in their purpose. When they get educated
Mm.
and they find something that they're passionate about, they can couple their education with their passion to contribute to other people's lives in a positive manner so that they can make positive impact on other people. And that's what I really feel is like a servant, is that we serve other people through our gifts. But the way
Mm.
we really get our gifts to their full fruition, to where they come to manifest, to where we can help others, is by just continuing to learn more, see how we can add more value, and then just having a heart to help other people.
And I really love that you're both the passionate person, but you're also a person who looks into research. And you were sharing with me that we've got more students leaving schools,
Mhm.
and that's a trend that really is not what we want to see. Do you want to say anything on that?
Well, absolutely, Lynn, because sometimes when we have to look at our schools, we have to look to make sure that they are caring environments. And if we have schools that are not set up where the culture is strong and where there's a caring culture, some students may not feel valued, they may not feel appreciated, and they just might not feel wanted. So we have a lot of students who are from historically marginalized backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And in school, sometimes there's an empathy gap where some of the adults may blame the students for their situation. And so, as opposed to taking a caring attitude and letting the student know that they're there to support them, they may blame the student for things that are out of the student's control.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what schools have to do is be equipped to give students the social emotional learning support that they need so that when they come to school, they like the way it feels because they feel loved, they feel valued, they feel cared about. And once the student has that, then we can start working on helping them with the academic portion of school. And so that's why I like to do the work of letting educators understand the importance of building trusting relationships with students and just being able to also help students grow socially, emotionally, and grow students' emotional intelligence because they definitely need emotional intelligence in order to be positive contributors to society.
They do. And you are singing off the same page as people who know Dr. Glasser's work. He was a huge proponent of relationships. But I love that you've written the book, building bridges for
Hmm.
at-risk students through relationships. So I guess, is there any one thing, if you were to say, because people have so many things they're juggling in the classroom and in all the expectations, is there
Hmm.
one thing that you'd say really stands out in terms of building relationships from your
Absolutely.
perspective?
Yes. So, with yes, you're exactly right, Lynn. students and teachers are both having a hard time in schools.
Mm,
Teachers are having a hard time motivating students. They're having a hard time managing students' behaviors.
mm,
And one thing I know about building relationships is that building relationships causes the student to feel safe,
mm.
valued, cared about. Also, when you build relationships with students, it causes them to want to not disappoint their teacher when they know that their teacher have invested a lot in them. And
Right.
so, high teachers have not only high expectations for their students, but they also have high expectations for themselves. And
Mm,
so when we have that relationship, we can leverage that relationship with our students to get them to behave appropriately and persevere on assignments. Why? Because the student can see, I understand that the teacher believes in me. I understand that the teacher cares for me.
mm.
Therefore, I don't want to let my teacher down. And so when the student can approach school with that attitude, now the teacher also has an easier time. I'm
Mm,
gonna tell you what the problem is, Lynn, in a lot of schools, is a lot of teachers have the mindset that they're just content teachers. And they say, well, I'm a math teacher, or I'm a reading teacher. I shouldn't have to teach self-respect. I shouldn't have to teach emotional intelligence. I shouldn't have to worry about the student's social emotional learning. That's the counselor's job, or that's the social worker's job. But I tell you, teachers who have an attitude like that, it's like that's just like bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're going to be dead on arrival. With the amount of trauma and social and personal and familial issues that students have these days, you have to be armed with trauma informed practices. You have to be armed with empathy, and you have to be armed with the ability to demonstrate social and emotional intelligence, to demonstrate respect. You have to learn how to teach students um, pro-social behaviors. And
mhm.
so a lot of teachers right now are just surviving. They're in survival mode.
Yeah,
But I want to take teachers from surviving to thriving.
yeah,
And the reason that teachers are just surviving is because they say, if I could just manage this student's behavior until the end of the school year.
yeah.
But the way to strive is you have to just stop thinking that you have to manage behaviors. And what you have to do is replace those negative behaviors with pro-social behaviors.
Mhm.
And one way we can do that is through authoritative counseling,
Mm,
where we teach self-respect, we teach pro-social behaviors, we teach students that they can have control over their actions and the way that they respond to certain situations. But the students have the power to make choices,
mhm.
and we have to empower students and let them know when they do make positive choices that things tend to work out better for them in the end.
Well, and I know that term, authoritative counseling, when I first heard it, I went, oh dear, because I
Mhm.
think of authority and power over. But knowing you, I know that that's not what you're talking about. So why did you choose that word authoritative counseling?
Okay, so let me tell you. So a lot of people confuse authoritative counseling with authoritarian counseling.
Okay.
So authoritarian counseling, that is when the adult says my way or the highway.
Yeah.
All right. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
All right. You don't have a voice. All right. Kids are to be seen and not heard.
Yes.
That's under the umbrella of authoritarian counseling. Authoritative counseling, however, is where the adult understands the importance of building relationships with students. However, they don't usurp their authority or them being the authority figure. But we
Mm,
still understand that the student has choices, and at the end of the day, will make the choice that the student wants to make. But as an adult, when we do authoritative counseling, we let the student know, all right, if you make this decision, we take them down the path of inquiry. All right, what would it look like as a result of you making this
mm,
decision? What would be the reward or consequence of you making this decision? All right, and is this something that you can live with? Is this something that you'll be happy with? Okay, let's think about if you rethought that and you make a different decision.
mhm,
And if you control your behavior, if you make the decision to not be disrespectful to your teacher and to not call your teacher out of their name, and if you make the decision to follow your teacher's directions, okay, then what would that look like 5 minutes in the future, as opposed to
mhm,
you losing your temper and
mm.
becoming disrespectful? And so we tell the student to weigh your options, and we let them know if you do decide to continue to be disrespectful or continue to cause disruption in your classroom, then you have to be able to live with the consequence of
Mhm,
possibly being sent to the office, possibly having a school consequence where you possibly could be suspended or
mhm.
something like that. All right. But then we tell them, however, if you choose to respond in a respectful manner and you choose to follow your teacher's directions and you demonstrate mutual respect, then what would that look like 5 minutes in the future?
Right, right.
And so
Well,
it's all about maintaining your authority and letting the student know, yes, the decision is yours. You do have the power to make whatever decision you want. However, you have to understand what the rewards or consequences of your
mm.
action would be. And as a maturing adult, you have to accept responsibility for whatever choice you make.
And what I hear when you're talking about that is really a reframe on authority. That
Mhm.
authority now could be viewed as I'm going to be the helpful person that can help you think about the choices you're making, the direction you're heading, whether it's really going to serve you or not. So
You're
when I reframe it that way, standing in a position of authority as being my way of serving students, giving them their best,
you're
that sounds
absolutely
pretty exciting.
you're absolutely right. And let me tell you one thing that I'm going to share.
Okay.
In when we talk about education, I like to look at the etymology of the word education.
Hmm.
And so it comes from the Greek and Latin words. The Greek word educare, which means actually to nurture and to care for. And
Yeah.
the Greek word educere, which means to bring forth. And
Mm.
so in education, what we're supposed to do is really care for our students and bring forth their greatness, help them reach their potential. And even when we talk about adults and we talk about being the authority and being able to coach other people, right? We understand when we're adults and working in the profession that people will make mistakes. But that's why people invest so much in coaching to help people learn from their mistakes, that they can continue to help them grow and bring forth their greatness. And it's the same thing in schools. As teachers, what we have to do is also coach our students, and that's in academics and with their emotions.
Hmm.
So we have to understand, hey, you know what? I understand that you made a mistake, but it's okay. You're still a great person. You still have great potential. Just let me coach you a little bit about these decisions you're
Right.
making. Let me, share with you some information that you may not know. So the next time you can make improvements. And so, yes, we have to teach students the academics, but we also have to coach students as far as how to be
Mm.
successful in life. And that's the title of my dissertation. What are the best methods and strategies to use to help students at risk be successful, not only in school, but also in life?
Yeah.
And so I'm concerned with not only the student being successful in school, but I want to see the student be successful in their life once they leave school,
Well,
in
that's
their
the message.
careers, yeah, in their
Yeah.
careers, with their families, with their friends, socially, emotionally, like spiritually, physically, mentally, the total child.
Well, that's the part that touches my heart. So thank you for sharing that. So
You're
we're
welcome.
very excited to have you. It's going to be a wonderful day. You're going to kick off our Saturday. It is the theme of education. So I said, we'd love to see teachers, administrators, prospective teachers, young people that are in the field of education thinking about becoming a teacher. It'd be great to have them come out and join you. If people are interested, also, Dawn, I know you've done 2 books. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to put that in. Building Bridges for the Students
Yes.
at Risk. And your
Yes.
second one is,
Be the driving force, leading your school on the road to equity. So first, I'll talk about building bridges. So the title is Building Bridges, Engaging Students at Risk Through the Power of Relationships. So what
mhm,
building bridges is about is is it was written for teachers who work with students who may be at risk or may have a lot of social, emotional, or just a lot of issues and trauma that they're dealing with. So how can the adult build the bridge to help the student get to from where they are to where they need to be? And
right,
so it's really written for teachers. And
great.
it talks about the importance of the relationship in order for the teacher to be that bridge to help that student be successful. And so, as we know, the antidote to trauma is resilience.
Mm,
And also, the research says another great antidote for trauma is a caring, loving adult. that is an active role, that plays an active role in the life of the student.
Yeah.
And so that's what teachers can be for students when they build that trusting relationship. And the second book, Be the Driving Force, was written for school leaders. And so
Mm,
I know equity is not looked upon as a positive word in a lot of educational spaces, and I think it's a shame. However, that's just, the educational climate right now, where equity is not a popular word.
mm,
But what equity means, from my definition, is giving each person what they need in order to be successful, to help them reach their full potential. And so in my book, Be the Driving Force, Leading Your School on the Road to Equity, it's about how can we create equitable environments so we can give adults what they need to be successful, and we can also give students what they need
mhm,
in order to be successful, so everyone can reach their full potential. And how
mm.
can we advance diversity, equity, inclusion in our schools, right? So we have a climate where everyone is cared about, they're respected, and they know that we're here for each other's success.
Well, that certainly matches what Dr. Glasser was visioning in his work and the people that have trained and learned these ideas. So our organization is so aligned with that. And we've been working hard on building what Dr. Glasser called quality schools, which really
Mhm,
matches. So I'm guessing that people are going to be able to get tips and ideas in both of your books. I love that you're talking about the leadership role.
mhm,
And we chose 3 themes for our conference. The first day is on leadership and innovation,
mhm.
because in some ways, I think we're all leaders in different
Yes.
situations. Parents are leaders, teachers are leaders, administrators, but we never even know sometimes when we're leading and
Mhm.
somebody is listening and following. So I'm looking forward to getting that book and just getting some ideas and expanding my understanding of leadership from your
Oh,
perspective.
100%. And I can share a quote, and I'm glad that you're starting with leadership, because
Mm,
what they say about leadership is that it starts at the top. And leaders have to have the influence with the people who they're working with to share the vision with them. So we all have the same vision. And so John Maxwell says that people will buy into the leader before they buy into the vision. And so, yes, the leader sets the vision, but before that vision is truly communicated and embraced by everyone else, the person has to believe in the heart of the leader and the good intentions of the leader, and that the leader also has their best interests at heart when it comes to having a quality school or a thriving organization, uh,
mhm.
and things like that. And another thing I love about leadership, and what you said exactly, Lynn, that we are all leaders in some form or fashion. And so what another quote from John Maxwell says, that being successful is about when you experience success yourself. However, being a leader is helping other people experience success. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that's something that you have embraced from Dr. Glasser, that you
Mhm.
also want to help other people be successful. And I can tell that you have that heart.
I do. And I think this conference, I hope, will inspire lots of people. It's going to offer them so many ideas, the chance to meet people from around the world, but get ideas from people like yourself and so on that we can take away and then apply in all the different things that we do. So, Don, thank you so very much. I'm so excited to meet you in person. Again, it's Saturday, July 6th. Don will be keynoting. We have 2 other keynotes in our conference. It starts on the 3rd of July. And so we'll be even celebrating the 4th of July in Chicago, which for some of us, that's going to be a great experience.
Absolutely. So, guys, come to
Yeah.
the conference. Not only enjoy the great speakers and the participants that will be in the conference, but enjoy the city, enjoy the environment. And Lynn said something that's a great analogy when she talked about July 4th will be around the time of the conference. So,
Mhm.
guys, there's going to be fireworks in the city, but there's also going to be great fireworks and great excitement at the conference as well. So, absolutely come out, learn, grow, connect, build relationships, and enjoy the conference.
Thank you. So if people are interested, want to register, they can go to wglasser.com and find out all the information or contact anyone connected with the Glasser organization. Thanks again, Dawn. We'll see you in Chicago.
Thank you, Lynn. Stay well.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.